Hello everyone. So this video is going to be covering the cursing of the fig tree, in which we had seen yesterday on the Monday. Christ cursed the fig tree, and there's a lesson behind this, and that's what we're going to dive into today. This is what this video is about. There'll be another video explaining the rest of the events that happened on the Tuesday before the crucifixion of Jesus. But what we're going to focus on today is the cursing of the fig tree that we can see happened in Mark chapter 11 verse 12 to 14, and then later on the next day we can see in Mark chapter 11 verse 20 and 21 that they came across a fig tree and it had been cursed and it withered away. So what we're going to do is today we're going to learn about that. So in Mark chapter 11 verse 20 and 21, we see here, it says, "As they passed by in the morning, they saw the fig tree withered away to its roots. And Peter remembered and said to him, 'Rabbi, look, the fig tree that you cursed has withered.'" So we see that this fig tree that Jesus cursed yesterday withered away and it's dead. So a fig tree, you'll find them, when it starts to bear fruit, the fruit is the same colour as the leaves, but it'll bear the fruit before it bears the leaf, if that makes sense. So when they seen this fig tree and it had leaves on it, they were expecting the fig tree to have fruit. So upon seeing that it didn't even have any fruit, Jesus cursed it. Now, a fig tree is used to symbolize things when it comes to the nation of Israel. If you go on godquestions.org, which is where I've got this information from, you can see that they say that the presence of a fruitful fig tree was considered a blessing and prosperity for the nation of Israel. However, the absence or the death of a fig tree would symbolize judgment and rejection. And we could see that this fig tree was alive, but it had no fruit. Hence it got cursed by Jesus. But what it really did represent was the spiritual aspect of the nation of Israel. Israel had become so focused on the religious ceremonies, on the practices, that they were barren because of their own sin. Their own sin had made them unfruitful. And we see that the cursing of the fig tree, if you've got a study Bible, it'll say it, the cursing of the fig tree and the cleansing of the temple was Jesus pronouncing his coming judgment and demonstrating his power to carry it out. So Jesus was pronouncing his coming judgment to the nation of Israel, and he was demonstrating the power that he had to carry said judgment out. Because as we know, Jesus was God in flesh, and we know that Israel, the Pharisees, rejected it. And it's funny because the day before they welcomed him into the city, they're cheering him on, they're singing Hosanna in the highest, thinking that Jesus is the Messiah to set them free from being under the rule of the Romans. But Jesus did come to set captives free, but it wasn't under Roman rule. We see that Jesus was to come to set the captives free, not from Roman rule, but from the captivity of sin. Paul says that we were once slaves to sin, but now we are slaves to righteousness. In Mark chapter 11, verse 23 to 25, we see Jesus replying when Peter mentions about the withered fig tree. And Jesus says, "Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it. It will be yours. Whenever you stand praying, forgive. And if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also who is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. The verse before, Jesus says to have faith in God, faith that God can, if we ask, he will receive. God and Jesus himself said that if you ask, you'll receive. If you seek, you'll find. If you knock, the door will be open. And if it's in line with God's will, and if it's in line with godly motives, and we believe and we don't doubt, it will be done. Now, is that saying that doubt is going to completely cut what off from Jesus? No, absolutely not. For someone who wrestles with doubt, I can say clearly is that Jesus is there in the heart of the doubt, and doubt, if it's doing its job correctly, leads to questions, which then leads to answers, which then leads to a deepening of faith in Jesus, because you go and ask the questions, and the answers to the questions are in the Bible. And so to wrap this video up, what we've learned today is the cursing of the fig tree is Jesus pronouncing his coming judgment on the nation of Israel, because Israel were unfruitful. They were just barren because of their sin, too focused on the religious side of it. They got to do the ceremonies, got to do the sacrifices, and they ended up just becoming barren to sin. And the cursing of the fig tree was Jesus demonstrating that he has the power to carry out that judgment. But it's also a warning to us Christians that we must bear fruit as well, and that if we ask of the Father, we will receive. If we believe in our hearts that we will receive it. God bless.